Hello viewers, welcome to CEC Gurukul lectures. In my previous lecture on projection formulae, I have discussed the Wesch-Dash formulae and Fisher's projection formulae for molecules. We had also discussed the Fisher projection formulae in great detail for molecules having one chiral carbon in them, and then I was discussing the rules of manipulation of Fisher's projection formulae. And we saw that if a molecule has one chiral center in it and we make an interchange of two groups, or we rotate the molecule by 180 degrees, we will get the same structure, that is, we'll get the original structure. But if we rotate this molecule by 90 degrees, we will get a structure which will be non-superimposable on its mirror image, that is, we will get enantiomers. And a 90 degrees interchange is not allowed. It is considered to be a foul because we want to convert one structure into an identical structure. Now supposing we have a molecule which has two chiral centers in it, and now the possibility is that we can interchange the groups at only one chiral center, or we can interchange the groups at two chiral centers. So we have to now see, like, if we interchange the groups at one chiral center, what will we get? Will we get the original compound, or will we get diastereomers or enantiomers? Similarly, if we interchange the two groups at both the chiral carbon atoms, then what will happen? So from here, I will continue with the lecture. So let us imagine that we have a chiral compound which is having two chiral centers in it, and we interchange two groups only at one chiral center. Then it will give us a pair of diastereomers. Here I have taken an example of this compound, and in this case you can see we have two chiral centers. The second carbon is chiral, since in it is attached to four different groups. One is COOH, the other is OH, then we have H, and the fourth group is this complete group. And we have done an interchange of groups at these two groups at this chiral center. So we get a structure which is not mirror image of the first structure. Since it is not the mirror image of the first structure, we say these are pair of diastereomers. And I have discussed the diastereomers and enantiomers in great details in my previous lectures. So what are these diastereomers? These are stereoisomers which differ in configuration at one chiral carbon. So this is where they are differing. And these have different physical properties. Now on the other hand, if we interchange the groups at both the chiral centers, then it will result in the formation of enantiomers. So we made an interchange here. So when we interchange these two groups here, what we find that this H, which was on the right hand side, has come on the left hand side, and now OH is on the right hand side. Similarly, when we interchange this group with the H, we find that the orientation here again is reverse. And when the orientation on both the chiral center has changed, that means this molecule, this is now non-superimposable mirror image of the three. So these are pair of enantiomers. And we know that the physical properties of enantiomers are identical. They only differ in the way they rotate the path of plane polarized light. Now supposing the third case, I want to get the same structure back. So if you want to get the same structure back, then what you do, that in that case we will hold one of the subsequents is held fixed. and the remaining 3 are rotated in the plane of the paper either clockwise or anti-clockwise to get a new projection formula. When we do this, we will get a structure which will represent the same molecule. So just imagine that we have this structure of glyceraldehyde, and in this glyceraldehyde we keep this CHO group fixed. This group is fixed, and we rotate these 3 groups either clockwise or anti-clockwise. So supposing I am rotating these groups anti-clockwise, that is CH2OH group will come at this position, this OH group will go to this position, and H will take the position of CH2OH. So what have we done here? We have kept this CHO group here fixed. We have not moved the CHO group in this case, and we are moving these groups in anti-clockwise direction. The other thing that we can do is we can keep this group fixed here, and we rotate these groups in a clockwise direction. When we rotate it in clockwise direction, what we find, OH will take the place of CH2OH, CH2OH will take the place of H, and H will take the place of OH. So we will get the same structure which will be similar to the original structure. So here what we mean here is that the configuration, the absolute configuration of these 3 structures will be same. So one way of converting Fischer projection into the same structure is by rotating the molecule by 180 degrees, and the other way, which is again we mean the same thing here, that is we keep this group fixed and we rotate these 3 groups either clockwise or anti-clockwise to get the same projection formulae which was in the original molecule. Now we go on to how do we, after discussing all these manipulations and seeing the consequences of the different types of rotations, let us say in summary how will we write the Fischer projection formulae. So what you have to remember is that when we write a molecule in Fischer projection, we will take the longest carbon chain as the vertical chain with the highest oxidized end on the top. So here I have taken an example of glyceraldehyde. In glyceraldehyde we have taken CHO group on the top, and the longest carbon chain is taken as the vertical chain. And when we express this Fischer projection in form of wedge and dash, what you have to remember is that wedges are the lines which represent the bonds coming towards the observer. So these vertical lines are represented by wedges, and the horizontal lines are expressed by wedges and vertical lines are expressed by dashes. Now I have taken another example here which we are of the Fischer's projection, and we are converting again this Fischer projection formulae into wedge dash formula. So when we do that, please remember the groups which are coming towards the observer, which are the horizontal lines, are expressed in form of wedges, and the groups, these 2 groups which are going away from the observer, are expressed in form of dashes. Another way by which we can represent a 3D formula on a 2D paper, that is the Sawhorse projection formula. Now this Sawhorse projection formula, it indicates the arrangement of all the atoms or groups on 2 adjacent carbon atoms. So when we are doing this structure, so what we find that supposing we are looking into the structure of methane. So this is the front carbon and this is the back carbon. So generally front carbon is written on the left hand side, and the back carbon, which is known as the rear carbon, is written on the right hand side. And the bond between these 2 carbons is drawn diagonally, and it is elongated to give clarity to the molecule. Now we have to show that these two carbons are attached to three other groups or three other atoms. Since we are taking an example of ethane here, so these two carbons will be attached to hydrogens. So this molecule is attached to three hydrogens, 1, 2 and 3. Again here 1, 2 and 3. And now these hydrogens are placed at a bond of 120 degrees to each other at the each carbon. So the bond here is 120, bond here is 120 and bond here is 120. Similarly, we say the bond here is also 120 between these, each of these bonds here. Now we can express these bonds, these orientation of these bonds in two ways. We can either write the bonds in form of inverted Y's or in forms of the straight Y's. So if I say general concept is that we should write it in straight Y's, but we can write it in both ways. Both the ways are conventions are allowed. That is, you can write it in form of inverted Y or a straight Y. Now when you look at these structures, you find that the orientation of these hydrogens are different. So this Sohor's projection will give the two representations of the molecule of ethane, and these are the two extreme conformations or two different arrangement of molecules in space due to free rotation about the carbon-carbon single bond. We know here the overlapping is between the sp3 hybridized orbitals. That means this is a sigma bond. So if this is a sigma bond, the rotation here would be free. And this, as a result of this free rotation, we can have two extreme arrangement of atoms in molecule in space, which are conformations. And I shall again be discussing these conformations in great details in my future lectures. But as of now, what we find here is that supposing now we are viewing the molecule from here, we are viewing the molecule from sideways. Now when we are viewing the molecule from here, what you find that we are able to see this carbon, and this carbon, the rear carbon, is exactly behind the front carbon. Similarly, this bond here and this bond here, this bond at the rear carbon is exactly behind this bond. This bond is again exactly behind this carbon and hydrogen bond, and this bond at the rear carbon is again exactly behind this bond. So in other words, we can say that when we look at this molecule from this angle, that is sideways or diagonally, we find this carbon is this carbon, and the bonds of this carbon to three hydrogens are visible. But this carbon and bonds to this hydrogen are not visible because this is completely eclipsing this. That is, it is hiding this carbon and the bonds to it. So this type of arrangement is known as eclipsed arrangement, in which they are not visible. What is not visible? The rear carbon and the bonds, and the hydrogens which are attached to it with bonds are not visible. And the second thing by which you can recognize that this is an eclipsed conformation, or this is the eclipsed arrangement of atoms in molecule in space, that the bonds here, that the carbon and hydrogen bond here and carbon and the hydrogen bond here are parallel to each other. Similarly, this bond, this carbon and hydrogen bond is parallel to this, and this carbon hydrogen bond is parallel to this. So this is the eclipsed form of ethane. Now in second form, we have kept this bonds fixed, and imagine we have rotated this. Now when we have rotated it, we have got two arrangements. In one, we can say we have an inverted Y, the atoms are arranged in pattern of inverted Y, and in the second, they are arranged in the form of Y. So when we see this, look in the structure, we find that these bonds now here are anti-parallel. That is, this is on the top, this is at the opposite face at the below the plane. This is again here at the top, and this is below. This is here at the below, and this is above. So these are now at, we can say, 180 degrees to each other. Whereas in this case, this bond and this bond, the angle between these bonds was 0 degrees. And in this case, the angle between these bonds is, they are placed at 180 degrees to each others. And in other words, I can say that these bonds are scattered. So this is known as the anti-conformation or the staggered form. So now suppose we are given to make the conformation for butane. Now the question will arise, between which two carbons will you extend the bonds? So please remember, here the bonds will be made between the C2 and the C3 carbon. That is, this will make the central backbone of the molecule. And then this is again attached to 3 groups, and we find that here the arrangement of the groups are in form of, one is the inverted Y, the other one is the normal Y. So this is the staggered form and this is the eclipsed form. I am explaining this in so much detail because we will be soon doing in the conversion of the Newman projection into Sawhorse or Fisher into Sawhorse. So we have to know what is the staggered conformation and what is the eclipsed. So what you have to remember is, in staggered, the bonds are arranged in anti-parallel manner, whereas in eclipsed, the bonds are in a parallel arrangement. They have parallel arrangement and they are eclipsing each other. Now here I have again taken a chiral molecule, and what we find that these groups are parallel to each other, that is CH3 and CH3, and these are the groups which are in the plane of the paper. And this group OH and Br are going out of the plane, and generally we say the groups which are pointing towards the right, irrespective of whether they are below or they are above the plane, they are coming towards the observer, and these groups which are on the left are going away from the observer. So now if I try to convert this molecule into, say, wedge dash formula, so this bonds will be indicated by this solid line, and this will be shown, the OH and the Br groups will be shown by a solid wedge, and these two hydrogens will be shown by a wedge dash. So this is the eclipsed form, whereas in staggered form you will find that these two groups will be on the opposite side, that is, they will be anti-parallel to each other. That is, there will be maximum distance between the bonds here at the first carbon and the bonds at the, that is the second carbon at the and the third carbon. Whereas in this case, the distance in the eclipsed form, the distance will be minimum. Now another very good method, a simple method of representing a 3-dimensional formula on the plane of the paper is Newman projection formula. Please remember, in Newman's projection formula, molecule is viewed from front to back along the bond joining the 2 carbon atoms, whereas in Sawhorse we were viewing the molecule from the side view. And now when we are, now imagine we are looking at the eclipsed form of the Newman. So as I said, in the Sawhorse projection, the front carbon is visible, whereas the rear carbon is not visible. So similarly in the Sawhorse, in the eclipsed form, the 2 carbons will be exactly behind each other. If we take the example of ethane, if that is the case, the first carbon is visible but the second carbon will not be visible. So the convention says that we will represent the front carbon with the help of a dot, and the rear carbon, which is the away from the observer, will be represented by a circle. and the remaining bonds on each carbon are shown by small straight lines at angles of 120 degrees. And the next point that we will be seeing, that bonds joined to front carbon intersect at the central dot, whereas bonds which are joined to the rear carbon are shown as emanating from the circumference of the circle. So, as I said, by convention, we will show the front carbon with help of a dot. This is the front of the dot. So imagine this is the front carbon, and now this front carbon is attached to 3 hydrogens, or let's say it is attached to 3 hydrogens here. If we are taking an example of, say, ethane, and these are bonds are placed at 120 degrees to each other, right? Now, if this carbon, the carbon which is the rear carbon, which is the second carbon, it is not visible. So by convention, now what is done? We show the rear carbon with the help of a circle. And the bonds which are attached to the rear carbon are seen as they are coming out, or they are emanating from the circumference of the circle. Now let's say we superimpose these two structures, and when we superimpose these two structures, we get this structure. That is, this is the front carbon which is joined to 2 hydrogens, and which is expressed by a dot, and the bonds which are groups which are attached to this carbon with the bonds, they are intersecting here. And the rear carbon is attached to 3 bonds here, and these bonds are shown as they are coming out from the circumference of the circle. So this I have shown you the staggered conformation, and as I said, in staggered conformation, this is more easily, you can visualize it here, that the bond angle between the groups which are attached to rear carbon and the front carbon in staggered conformation is 180 degrees. So this is the stable structure. So again, here I have expressed the structure for butane. So when we look into butane, again what you have to remember is that you will view the molecule through second and the third carbon. Like that, this is my second carbon and this is the third carbon, and the bond between these two atoms is not visible. You have to visualize that there is a bond between these two, this carbon which is represented by a dot and this third carbon which is represented by a circle. Now the front carbon is attached to 3 groups which are hydrogen and a methyl group, and the rear carbon is again attached to 3 groups, methyl, hydrogen and hydrogen. And what we find that these bonds are highly scattered. They are placed at 180 degrees to each other. So this is the staggered conformation. And if we express this in form of eclipsed form, we find that the bonds between these two groups, here these are the bonds which are joined to the front carbon, and these are the bonds which are joined to the rear carbon. So here the bond angle, these bonds are exactly behind this, but for the sake of clarity we've shown a little distance between them. Here the bond angle is 0. So this is the eclipsed form, that is the front carbon is hiding the bonds which are attached to the rear carbon. So these are the staggered and the eclipsed conformations of butane. Similarly, we can draw here, these were the 2 extreme forms, the eclipsed and the staggered, and then in between also we have infinite arrangements which are known as gauge. But we will not concentrate here on the gauge because we are only interested in eclipsed and the staggered conformations for Sawhorse or Newman, because now we'll be soon discussing interaction of one conformation to the other conformation. Here again I have taken the staggered form of a chiral molecule which has two chiral centers in it. That is, this carbon, which is the front carbon, and the rear carbon are chiral. That is, this carbon is attached to three different groups, that is phenyl, bromine and a hydroxyl group, and the rear carbon is attached to chlorine, methyl and a amino group. And here you can see that the conformation or the arrangement that I have shown, that you can see on your screens, is the staggered, in which the bond angle between them is, the groups is 100 and these groups is 120, and between this and this it is 180. And when we try to put it in the eclipsed form, the front carbon and the bonds attached to it will be eclipsing the rear carbon, that is the third chiral carbon, and the groups attached to that carbon, which are amino, methyl and chlorine. So in this lecture I have discussed with you the Fisher's projection formula, that is the manipulations that are permissible, or if we bring about certain manipulations in Fisher's projection formula, what will be the result of those manipulations. Then I have discussed with you in great detail the eclipsed and the staggered forms of the Sohus projection formulae and the Newman projection formulae. Till now we have discussed four projection formulae: Wesch-Dash, Fisher, Sohus and Newman projection formulae, which can be used to represent 3D structures of the molecule on the 2D structures, that is on the plane of the paper or on your screens or on the screens of your laptop or your mobiles. In my next lecture, now I shall be discussing the interconversion of these projection formulas into each other. That is, interconversion of Wesch-Dash formula into Fisher and vice versa, Sohus into Fisher, Newman into Fisher and vice versa. For that you have to remember, please revise the Wesch-Dash formulas, the Fisher projections, and especially the eclipsed and the staggered forms of Sohus and Newman. Thank you.